Hey, put the YouTube link in the comments.
I am. I'm doing it right now. It is setting up my meeting to YouTube Live. I am. All right, we are live, y'all. Oh my God, come on now. There we go. Copy, and then let's go. Let me come to y'all real quick. Oops, okay. All right, let me put this to y'all. So the YouTube link is in the comments. Y'all can go share it out. I'm gonna also go on my YouTube to watch it. I can see the comments. All right, cool. All right, all right, we are live on YouTube, y'all. Let me get Taylor back in here.
Yo.
All right, Taylor back in.
I'm back locked in.
Mute y'all real quick. All right, fellas, we are live. Welcome. I want to welcome everybody to season 3, episode 1 of the United Against Cancer basketball event, all-star event. We have 3 dads on today. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. We're gonna start with you, Moo.
I had to unmute myself. My bad. Good evening, everybody. My name is Mustafa Sulaiman. I am the father of Xavier Sulaiman Sr. Out of Oakland High School.
Tommy Marshall. Tomas.
Gotta unmute him.
He got unmuted. I can't unmute him. He got to unmute himself.
Oh, well. What's going on, everybody? My name is Tommy Marshall, father of Darius Hawkins, also known as D-Hawk.
Tess, you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Martell Williams, father of Antonio Brown and Martell Williams Jr.
All right, cool.
Freebandz.
Freebandz. All right. So get a little background about y'all. So we'll start off with you. Freebandz is in the building. He making a debut on the podcast. All right. So let's get a little background from you guys. Moo, let's start with you first, since you're the official out of towner on here. Tell us about where you from and how the hoop scene. Where you from?
So I'm originally from Philadelphia. I moved here in 2012. Started working for a education company that was working with students who are overaged and under-accredited. I was a high school dean, as well as an assistant dean. And just being from out of town, my son moved here. I moved here in 2012. My son and my wife moved here in 2013. And we just been on the upward trajectory since then. Xavier has been through every pitfall and political, whatever you can think of, in the culture of Chicago, but it has made him a stronger player mentally, and just kind of helped me. It allowed me to help him kind of navigate that scene a little bit, and obviously being able to meet people like yourself, who has just kind of poured into Xavier just from a personal standpoint, and not looked at the political genre of everything. So that's been great for him.
Appreciate it. Tommy, tell us a little about you, where you from, and you muted. Gotta unmute yourself.
Well, I'm Tommy Marshall. I'm from the west side of Chicago. Moved out to the south suburbs in 2014. As of right now, I do a little bit of training, basketball training. Coach. I also coach for Main Streets R2G with Coach Kentrell King. And as of right now, I'm just pretty much just training right now, pretty much. Well, that's about it. Not too much.
Yeah, tell her.
I'm Martell Williams. Some people call me Tello. Born and raised Chicago. Right now, I used to coach. I used to tap my hand at a little coaching, but right now I'm enjoying being a fan. I feel like when I was coaching my oldest son, Antonio, and I feel like it kind of put a little strain in our relationship, because as a kid, they don't know how to differentiate you yelling at them as their coach, then you yelling at them as their dad. So I just want to take a step back. That was like really one of the mistakes I feel like I made. And I'm just really stepping back, and I'm getting a chance to really be a fan of Freebandz game, and just get a chance to watch him elevate and grow up. in the game of basketball. A lot of people around the community, they know me, and I'm just really one of the more likable guys in the city, man.
I don't know. I feel like we got a couple more people that joined the live. Appreciate everybody that's on. Again, y'all want to go copy and paste the YouTube link is in the comments. You can copy and paste that. Y'all people can come in and watch y'all. Spill y'all spill.
Ooh,
Y'all
don't hurt them.
is.
Don't hurt them with the
Let us know.
background now.
Yeah, that background tough.
Don't hurt them with the background. See, y'all kids a little older. They in the air and stuff like that, man. I got my little dude, man.
So we're gonna start off with you. Tell us what school do your kids go to? Like what school they attend right now?
Right now, my kids attend George Patton out in Riverdale. Currently, Antonio just made the team, and the coach actually gave me an opportunity to let Freebandz try out for the team. It was unprecedented. First, second grader ever to try out for the 8th grade team. You know what I'm saying? I got a good vibe from what they had going on, but with that basketball in the school systems, there's a certain age and a certain grade that they allow. But I just really wanted him to get an opportunity to get a run in with his bro and just get have that camaraderie on the court together, because the age gap is so different that I'll probably never get an opportunity to see it. So I just really want to, that was a proud dad moment. Like, you know what I'm saying? I get to watch my boys get up and down. And little fella can play. The coach told me himself, he like, man, if they're green lighted, I'll let them play. But how the sanctions and whatnot go. They do 5th through 8th. So by him being the second, it was really a no contest. He ain't stand a chance against the rules.
Nah. What about you?
It was just a little heartfelt, warm moment for me to get a chance to see them both out there and competing and just really having that chip on their shoulder and being able to, and show some of the stuff that we instill in them as parents and as, educators and trainers of this game that we love so dearly.
No, facts. Tommy, so what we kind of know what school D-Hawk go to. They won a little championship without him.
Yeah.
So tell us what school and tell us how that is over there.
So as of right now, Darius go to Perry Hills Junior High School out in Markham, Illinois. As of right now, he's playing both 7th and 8th grade. And the coach, the program is ran by Coach Sean Boyd, who also coached the Fire 16U. So the program's good over there. Prairie Hills is probably one of the best middle schools in Illinois as of right now. So it's a good program. So everything's on the up and up over there.
Well, your boy is entering a new school this year. Tell us a little about that. What school, and tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, he's currently at Oak Lawn for his senior year. 9th through 11th grade, he was at Marist High School, and just didn't work out. No, nothing bad to say. Education was great, but was looking to just kind of maximize as much as possible his continued growth. I know Marist nor Oak Lawn is considered the powerhouses of basketball, but in the grand scheme of things, my wife and I decided to make decisions that were inclusive of his education as well as his athletics. And we felt Marist gave him that best chance, particularly academically. And we felt like Oak Lawn, from a public school persona, continues on with our needs as parents when it comes to his education.
There's Mr. Pettigrew. Mr. Pettigrew, welcome to the season 3, episode 1 of the UAC podcast. You can introduce yourself and your three boys.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for allowing me this opportunity. My name is Titcus Pettigrew, and I am the father of Trey Pettigrew, who's currently enrolled at the University of Nevada as a freshman playing basketball, JT Pettigrew, who is a sophomore at Fenwick, and Brady Pettigrew. He's 13 years old, currently enrolled at Lyle Junior High.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Pettigrew.
What's going
Nice.
on?
Good evening, my guy.
Perfect. I'm glad she on here. We'll discuss baby girl in the background because she trying to make her appearance. Oh, that's your son.
Yeah, that's Trey.
That's Trey. Yeah, I thought he was fading in and out because of the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm glad. I appreciate you guys on. So we're gonna talk about these AAU teams you guys are playing on. We'll start off with you, Tommy.
As of right now, Darius playing for R2G Main Streets and also plays for Freebandz as well. Watch out, bro.
Tell.
Oh, my bad. I was really changing my background. Y'all got the raw background, man. I'm feeling a little left out, Jack. But currently, right now, we play with Blueprint. Blueprint hoops. That's what we're running with. And with Small Fry approaching, we'll be playing with Miss Foster and get on my level. My oldest son, he's not playing AAU because I feel like I don't know what exactly his plan as far as basketball goes, but we just really getting back into the swing of things, and I don't want to overforce him into something if he's not really truly passionate about it. Because I feel like that'll, like I said, that put a little ditch into our relationship as far as sports goes. So I don't want to really overpress the issue. But my youngest boy, he all the way locked in. We've been playing ball since he was 3. And he's 7 right now. So we just really locked in with Blueprint and Miss Foster get on my level.
No, I appreciate that. Who your boy played with last year?
He shared the backcourt with Jeremiah Fierce over at Hoops for Health. We did 3 years with the Illinois Wolves, and it just didn't work out. Was very disappointed in the opportunities that I felt should have been provided. He had a great experience with the companionship and camaraderie he developed with his teammates, but just the overall experience from what AAU was explained to me should have been about, it just didn't provide that. And I mean, honestly, if I'm being completely honest, with all due respect, I mean, he still hasn't really received that even with Hoops for Health. So, it's just a matter of really understanding. Well, first of all, and maybe Mr. Pettigrew can speak a little bit to this in regards to Trey, and very familiar with your son, Mr. Pettigrew, who definitely was a fan. Xavier worked out with him once or twice before, but the COVID year really kind of hurt Xavier and other particular players like him. Like, obviously the players got, what was for them, and that's great. But I do feel like the COVID year really kind of hurt Xavier. And then also too, my wife and I have to take our responsibility in that he wasn't at a school that highlighted the basketball program. Being at Marist, we knew going in that Marist was an academic school, and the hope was that Xavier could kind of help bridge that gap with such the exciting player that people knew him to be coming out of 8th grade going into high school. Unfortunately, it didn't translate that way, and so we were further behind the 8 ball. And we're just, now we're just kind of in the mindset of like, what's for him will be for him, and just, at the end of the day,
I'll get y'all
the end result is a free education. Like, so he could play at my next door neighbor's university in the backyard, and if it's free, then I'm good with that.
I like the knowledge that we getting from you guys. Mr. Pettigrew.
Well, I'll start with the top. As I said earlier, Trey is a freshman at the University of Nevada. We kind of narrowed the colleges down to what's going to be the best fit for him. And being able to be mentored by Steve Alfred, who's a point guard coach, and we kind of tracked his pedigree. The last 8 years, he's put 6 point guards in the NBA, from UCLA all the way to Iowa, then it ranges to Nevada. So you hit it on the head, Mr. Mustafa, about the right fit and just getting the opportunity to be free. Because I think in this day and time, with the way the economy and inflation work, not a lot of people got that scholarship money to be taking it for granted. So yeah, it's about the right fit, but the opportunity to come across is free. It's for me. So yeah. I have a sophomore at Fenwick. He's about 6'6", and he is developing. Like, he's coming into his own, starting to really get a chance to see him blossom. He's at Fenwick, and they had on their varsity team, they have 2 juniors and all sophomores. So for the next 3 years, they're going to be a force. They've kind of been playing together since they've been young. And now when you get a nucleus or a core, it's always hard to beat chemistry. He played with Mean Streets this summer. He loves the program and definitely wants an opportunity to try out and do it again. The reason why I kind of like Mean Street, they make you earn your stripes at all levels. So it's a good organization. I think he's going to do it again, get mentored, hopefully, by Coach Slaughter and that staff. My 13-year-old is Brady. He's currently with Illinois Flight during the winter and fall. In the spring, summer, trying to bring him back home to Mean Streets. We've kind of been moving around a little bit, always just trying to find the right fit for a child. And I think in his mindset, he's played with those guys enough to kind of cement his home and not have to travel all over the place. The last thing I'll say is going back to the COVID year, it's still a trickle-down effect, and I'll tell you how. If you look at like my oldest son, if you look at a 19-year-old freshman, the first day he went to practice, he called me after practice, and he told me, "Dad, our team is made up of 25 and 26-year-olds. And let me tell you something about if you 26 years old going up against 19-year-olds, because you get a free year, that ultimately changes the whole landscape of basketball itself, the way college coaches recruit, because this year was the first, I wouldn't say down year. There wasn't a lot of attendance like it used to be at the EYBL, because those college coaches had to stay on campus and recruit their own kids. I mean, people just moving around like hotcakes. So it presents a different challenge.
I think it's unfair. I think it's really unfair, and I respect the grind of these older people, but to have a 25, 26-year-old player who really should be working at the university, I think that's a little unfair, and it makes it difficult for my son, and even you said you had I think you said sophomore at Fenwick.
Yeah.
I think it's unfair, man. It's unfortunate, and that's unfair. But look, at the end of the day, just like us as parents, for those parents of those kids, I guess the whole if it's for free, it's for me mindset, but it's affecting kids and that are not being given an opportunity on those levels that maybe should have them. But it's also, and it's a trickle-down effect in that even the lower tiered colleges are also recruiting those players. They're not even recruiting high school kids. So you got the D1s, high, mid, and low majors. You got the Division II, same thing. The NAI is the Division IIIs. it's like the kids now, the high school kids don't have nowhere to play ball at. And that's, my bad, you said no cursing. That stuff isn't fair, man. It's like, it really kind of pisses me off a little bit. And I'm gonna always speak my mind on it. It is what it is. That's just who I am. So whatever.
Yeah, no. So even me being in touch with as many college coaches as I am, I'm always calling around for kids, even kids that's not even in my program, to even just get the opportunity to go play. And a lot of college coaches, they told me like, yeah, well, we're waiting on, we might be getting some D1 transfers, or we might be getting some D2 transfer. And like you said, it just trickled down. Like, so what do I do with this kid who's, I'm saying he needs a college to go to, and then you got the kids who feel like they're higher major or should be playing Division I, looking at the JUCOs like, I don't want to go to JUCO when I know I'm a Division I talent. So trying to explain that to them is like no, this is it. Like this is what you
I'm
have.
gonna be honest with you. Like it's a comment. Like I swear to God, it's a conversation my wife and I just had today that we are planning to have with our son this weekend. Like the opportunity that's in front of us, we need to go ahead and jump on that before they kind of wake up and be like, you know what? Thank you, but no thank you. Like at the end of the day, Mr. Pettigrew said it. If it's free, it's for me. Like why not go and see, what we can do with this and have a productive college experience, basketball and academically. See, for us, the basketball shit is cool, but we want the education for our son too. Like that ball gonna stop bouncing eventually, and then what you gonna do?
No, I agree.
I'm not gonna lie, from the outside looking in, I get I brush shoulders with a lot of these shorties, man, and I've seen DeShondre Washington. He took the JUCO and made it work for him. Carl Jones, another one, took JUCO, and now he's at UNLV. Like JUCO isn't a lot of the kids they frown upon JUCO. I don't even think they understand what they're doing, but in real life, that's an opportunity that a lot of these kids should really take heed to, because if you got the game that you say you have, that's the stage for you.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do is get out there and perform.
Just do your part.
It's gonna give you the confidence. That man, Lil Trash, just had a triple-double, man. First game, 17, 10, and 10, one turnover. Man, that's huge to come from where he came from. Not only did he run the JUCO champion, he won the JUCO championship twice, I think, MVP twice, and now he at that level where he's comfortable with his game, and that's gonna translate on that next level.
No, agreed. So move on to our next question. We'll start off with you, Mr. Pettigrew, since you was the last incomer in here today. Describe what a day as a basketball father looks like for you.
It's because I'm a disciplinarian, because I want our boys to turn into young men. So I always tell them, when you wake up, man, you got to make your bed, just be able to, the simple chores that become tedious to them, but at the end of the day, it carries a lot of weight to me. Mm-hmm. So just being responsible, being able to make your bed, like have some ownership. That's for all the boys. And even my daughter, just trying to tell her, look, these are the things you want to do because it gets you ready to take the steps in life. Then I challenge them too. So what we do is we go 4 days a week. So I tell them Monday, Tuesday, take Wednesday off, Thursday, Friday. Here is your individual workout. Not what you're doing in the gym, is what you can do around the house. Because there are going to be days that mom and dad can't take you to a gym. But you can't stay in your house and stay locked in on a video game and come up with an excuse why you can't work out. So now they'll have all day when they get done with school, and they have to make a decision. So if you choose not to work out, I choose not to help you because you're not helping yourself. So when I come home, I just ask the boys, hey, y'all get it in? and they honest. Some of them that sometimes they'll be like, yeah. I mean, sometimes they'll be like, no. And I just tell them, I say, okay, every day you tell me no, remember that kid you come across because he didn't take that day off. So you just open up their mind. But I'm not saying wake up and be in a lab from sun up to sundown, because we're stripping him of being a child and a kid. So there has to be a balance of he got to enjoy it, he got to love it, but he got to crave it and want it. Once you find that balance, you had a full day, because it's hard to do sometimes. It really is. But that's a challenge that I have with my kids, and I embrace it, and I try to do it every day, and I don't bother them on Wednesday, because to me, that's like a peace of mind. So if I can kind of stimulate your mind Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday is your day. Like you just like, we don't talk about athletics. It's like, enjoy you.
I like that. That's real dope, man. I really like that. That you give them that break and the opportunity to be kids. I think a lot of people forget that part of their life, right? The fact of letting them be kids and letting them enjoy it. Like they need to embrace the moment. I feel like a lot of times we do. Our younger kids, they kind of miss out on life because, you know, we keep them so in the gym. You got to win, you got to be the top, you got to work hard, you got to be better than everybody else. That a lot of times we skip over the fact that they just want to go to Dave and Buster's today. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
no, like,
Yeah.
let me like, bro, I've been working out a whole week. Like, I just want to go. It's October. Let me go to the haunted house. Like, I got this. Like, let me enjoy. Let me embrace the moment of life. I think a lot of people skip that part. They don't let the kids embrace life. They're too focused on the sprint rather than the marathon.
Yeah.
So we'll go with you, Tommy. Same question.
So my breakdown is similar to something like Titcus, but so mine is, well, a day. Well, if I break down a week, Monday, Tuesday to Thursday. Well, now you got school ball, so now they practicing pretty much every day. So Monday through Friday, he got school ball practice. We train we get about 2 hours a day, about 2 hours a day, about every day, pretty much. Besides Wednesdays, we don't do nothing on Wednesdays neither. If he's not playing on the weekends, he pretty much can do whatever he want. But 9 times out of 10, he coming right to me, and he want to get in the gym. So we really don't have no breaks, really. Even when I try, he still, that's what
Because he love it. He love it.
That's what it is. That's what it is right now. So besides that, that's pretty much it. Well, he just love being in the gym. That's the second home. So it is what it is.
Hello. Same question, big fella.
Similar breakdown. I mean, school Monday through Fridays, of course. We come home from school around 3-ish. Homework on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We got training from 4:45 to maybe 6 if he doesn't train up with the older kids, the 6th graders. And sometimes on Tuesdays and Thursdays, on some days, we don't leave the gym till like 8 o'clock, 8:30, for real. On Fridays, I like to take them to, shout out to Alicio Blue. I like to take them to Blue and let them get on the shooting machine. He been man, these kids, bro, when they coming like that, you got to pour into them for real. And I try not to hinder him because I feel like I'm over pushing or something like that. But when this is something that he wants, I can't deny him. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I feel bogus if I tell him, no, we can't do this today, or no, you need to go play or something. No, I want you to have exactly what you want. And if that's something that you want, I mean, I let him be a kid. He play his game from time to time with his bros, and he talking on Instagram with his little homeboys every once in a while. See, we ain't had this coming up. Like, we didn't have online you can play against somebody that's in Nova Scotia, or your homeboy that stay on the other side of the city. We didn't have that. You could just get on the game and play with them. You had to physically go to their crib. So I allow him to be a kid, but at the same time, if this is what he want to do, I'll pour into him. But don't get me wrong, we take time out and like I'll read and we'll draw and, you know what I'm saying, have tea party with my daughter and he might be sitting right there, but no matter what, it go back to that circle. That man gonna go grab that ball. He gonna get to dribbling that ball in the living room. He gonna go in the basement and dribble that ball. He gonna get on his dribble up from time to time. Like when he want it like that, bro, I can't deny him. And that's what's gonna get him the free education. Because that's what separates the when them coaches come out and they see them kids that really want it like that, that's who they look at. Sometimes you don't gotta be that 20, 30-point kid. You gotta be that kid that really got that desire and being a good teammate and being mannerable and things like that. Like those are the type of traits that I see in him at a young age. And even my oldest son, he coming back around to the game, but at the same time, he a video gamer. He might grow up and want to be a tech person or something. So whatever it is my kids like, I try to pour into them, no matter what it is.
Hey, Martell, be clear. The gaming world is real lucrative right now.
Oh, for sure. I seen they came with a league for 2K.
Those
like
esports. Those esports
you can make money.
out a lot of
you
money.
Can make money playing the game, man. That's another avenue.
Yeah, those esports are serious, brother. It's so serious that they're creating leagues in the high schools that then translate to scholarships in college. I know that for a fact because one of my guys does that for a living.
That's tough.
And then my son's major is trying to get him to do graphic design.
Yeah, no, they for sure. And we're gonna speak on that one topic too. We're gonna let Moody out of Florida describe his day in life as a father to a basketball superstar.
Mine's is a little bit different from you gentlemen. Like Mr. Pettigrew has a superstar in Trey in his own right, respectfully. You gentlemen are grooming superstars. Xavier started playing a little bit later. He was about 7 or 8, but if I'm being frank, he wasn't really that great, but his persistence in getting better. Now, keep in mind, I was here in Chicago while they were still living in Philadelphia. So I flew home every weekend as he had began developing his love for basketball. When he moved here, I coached him novicely. Like I don't feel like I'm on any level of any of these coaches out here, Ty or even Tay, or even I see Coach Keon in the comments. But I know the game enough to teach my son the game of basketball, the basics of basketball. So I coached him. As far as now, and even before now, I was very determined to not be the Joe Jackson of sports for my child. It's like I provided him the opportunity and the platform or the whatever you want to call it. But honestly, I was raised by a Marine father. It's like, if you want it, I'll help you get it. If you don't want it, then cool. Like that's on you. No love laws, but you're not gonna blame me for it. So I try my best to kind of steer Xavier, but the one thing my wife and I, we don't do is like, we don't overcompensate our wants onto him. Like I want Xavier to be a great basketball player, but is that what he really wants? If he doesn't want that, it don't make a damn difference what I do, what I tell him to do. If he don't want it, then I'm wasting my time. And so I was very strategic in like, giving a little bit of this and a little bit of that, like this is what I want you to do. I'd love for you to go to the gym. And then when he got his car, when we bought him a car for Christmas last year, it was like, there's no excuse. You ain't got to wait on me now. You can go to the gym whenever you want to. Just let us know where you're going, of course. So he started to pick up his own, waking himself up, going to get some shots up, going to get some skill work in, if you will. but you can still see, admittedly, parts of his game where he still needs to be working on. He's not a finished product. Just because he has a 41-inch vertical doesn't mean that he can shoot a consistent jump shot. And so he has parts of his game that he still needs to be in the gym working on consistently. And until he has the mindset of like, this is what I want to do, it don't make a difference what the hell I say to him, other than to keep encouraging him. And that's what we do. Like, I don't encourage him from a, hey, you could be the best basketball player in the world. I encourage him from a position of like, I'm going to support you and I'm going to love you regardless if you want to be a damn farmer. And so that's my job, is to pour into him in that regard. And everything else I feel like will, work itself out. I'm preparing Xavier for life after me, when I'm dead and gone, and he has to kind of step into the role of being the man of the house or just the man in society. So I'm preparing him for that. And now basketball, I do believe, is one of those sports that is as closely connected to life as any other sport. And I've played them all damn near. So I do think that from that regard, we're doing a good job of preparing him for that. But I want Xavier prepared for life, not the fourth quarter.
So all of y'all spoke on something big, y'all saying allow them to love the game, right? So I get a lot of slack. My daughter's 8, and like she has a nice form of her jump shot. She's taller than a lot of the kids her age right now. So a lot of people kind of be on me like, why you don't have her in the gym? Why you don't have her doing this and doing that? Like, you train these kids. Same thing with my son. My son is a bigger 7th grader, and it's like, that's not what they want to do right now. I'm not going to force them to be in the gym with me and be like, they don't have to do this. Like, my daughter at one point wanted to play the piano. I just paid for piano lessons. Okay, that's what you want to do? That's fine. We'll do it. We'll find something that you love to do. She wanted to do gymnastics. Okay, we'll do that. And I think that's the most important thing, is like you gentlemen said, pouring into something that they want to do versus what we want them to do. Like, do I want my daughter to play basketball? Do I want my son to play basketball? Of course. Like, I would love for them to, follow my legacy and keep it going on, and even go further than I did. But am I going to force it on them? No. I want to be a dad. I would be in that regard. I'd just be coach. And that's kind of how I separate the two. Pointing to what they want versus what I want. And we'll start off with you, Tommy, for the next question. Next question is, what motivates you to be so involved in your son's basketball career?
You start off with me.
Yes, sir.
Just to see what motivated me is pretty much seeing his potential of where he can go with the game of basketball, and to see that he wants it. You know what I'm saying? Because most kids play the game, but they don't really want it. They don't really want it. You know what I'm saying? He want it. He want to go after it. So that motivated me. And plus, I played the game of basketball, and I know where it could take you. So the game could take you so much further than Chicago. You know what I'm saying? He's 13 years old. We pretty much been around the country. Titcus know firsthand. So it could take you places, and it could put you in front of certain people that, you know what I'm saying, can
change your life.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's that's what motivated me, man. That's what motivated me. And I know if we stay on this path, like y'all say, like Titcus, you got Trey here in college already for free. That's my main goal right now. I ain't got no money to be sending me to paying all that big old tuition. Man. I ain't got it like that. So hey, that's my goal. That's what motivated me, bro.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Tell.
Pretty much just a lack thereof when I was coming up. Like, I came up, my mom, my grandma, my auntie, like I didn't have my dad in my life when I was coming up. So I always said when I was younger that when I had kids of my own, it wasn't none that I would do, you know what I'm saying, other than be there. Like, even if it wasn't basketball, I'm going to be there regardless, you know what I'm saying? And just the motivation of not having that when I was coming up, then just being the best person that I can be for him. Because one day I'm going to be gone, and I want him to be able to have the memories and be, man, my dad was this, to explain to his kids, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to lead by example. Because one day he's going to have kids of his own. So I just want him to be able to, oh, well, my dad did this to me. Like, I can vividly remember when I was a shorty, my granddad, I used to stay in the Greens in Cabrini. My granddad used to come get me every weekend, take me to get a haircut, take me to get a little Happy Meal, like little stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, you hold on to forever. Like, and I just want to be able to have those memories with him and him to share with his kids and just to raise them up right, man. Like, have that integrity. Of course, I played a little bit. I was all right, you know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I just want to be the best dad that I can be, not only to my sons, but to my daughters. And hopefully it'll spark us with change into those who aren't as active. They see somebody like me, and I'm one of them guys that you can just approach. I'm very approachable. And I want to be able to just motivate everybody, motivate my son, motivate the other dads that aren't as active, you know, just being a real stand-up dude, have some integrity out here, man.
Mm-hmm. Good job. Move.
It's like what Martell said, I was raised by a father, my mother too, but I had a very active father and a very community-oriented father. I come from a neighborhood in West Philly where everybody knew my family, everybody. So I couldn't do shit in this neighborhood. They knew my aunts, they knew my dad, they knew the community Muslim-wise that I was a part of. So I just knew that I had a great example of being a father, and some of the things that my dad lacked, I wanted to make sure like I kind of, you know, was very much in tune with those things. My dad was hard on us, man. He was really hard on us. I heard Mr. Pettigrew talk about some of the things he make his kids do, and just the discipline and all of that. Like, it kind of, you know, almost like, you know, I had to look like, damn, is my dad here or whatever. So like, I just knew that I wanted to be the type of father who was involved, but I also wanted to be the type of father that both my boys knew that I loved them. Like, I tell them, I show them, you know, I provide opportunities to prove it. And so that's kind of what motivates me. Like, I just want, again, like Martell said, I want Xavier to now be able to reflect back on when he was younger, the things that we did as a family. But more goes into that than just us being fathers. It's also what they're seeing in terms of how we treat their mothers as well. Good, bad, and indifferent, right? And how we are loving on their mothers, and how we are holding ourselves accountable when we ain't doing what we're supposed to be doing. And it's proof in the pudding. So like, if I am correcting your behavior, just know that I've corrected my own as well. So all of that goes into that for me, as far as being a dad. And honestly, like, I love being a father. Like, I told a family tonight that I was meeting with, in my religion, being Muslim, we believe that our children chooses us as parents. So just think about that. Like, y'all boys chose you specifically to raise them. And that's a huge responsibility. And like that kind of like, that is what motivates me. He chose me of the billions and billions of people on this earth that he could have chosen. Both of my boys chose me as their dad. It's a huge responsibility, and I love that it was thrusted upon me, and I love the job that I was given. I think I'm doing a decent job, and I'm just enjoying the journey, honestly.
Appreciate that. Titcus, what's your motivation?
Everybody had great points, and I love to hear the stories because everybody got a different walk. You just got to know where you're coming from. For me, I'm always love my boys, but I had a different angle of why I got involved because I was always looked at as an outsider coming to Chicago. I'm originally from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. When I came into Chicago, I took suburban kids and went into the city and played against Coach Mack, Terry Head. Like they became my mentors because they ain't see too many people willing to bring all European kids in the city and compete. And because I was out here, but I'm from city life back home in Carolina, so I understand the grind. But that being said, when my kids got involved, you have to watch out who you give your kids to. Tommy can call me right now. I ain't talked to Tommy for like 3-4 months. If he called me right now and be like, Teak, I need a break. Man, he in the car on the way. But ain't too many people you can do that with because there's so many manipulative people dealing with these young kids. And I'm seeing it time and time. And it's sickening because these are adults that's doing it. And you playing puppet master with these kids for your gratification of saying you're a good coach or you getting some kind of perk behind it. And that's why I have to stay involved because my grass is cut low and I can see the snakes. I know who they are. And they right before your eyes, but you can't just let them take your kid who is innocent and has done nothing wrong and being taken advantage of. And I'm telling in the youth game today, it is running rapid because all these people doing is picking sides, trying to manipulate kids to pit against other kids. You could do that on the court all day. But when kids walking off the court and not speaking to each other and hearing that language from adults or why they shouldn't talk, that's crazy.
That's why I
Because we
started my
got
platform. Yep.
yeah, we got to be a community to help all. And for me, that's what I want to do. And so that's why I refuse to just hand my kids off because nobody really want to coach their kid, but you want to put them in good hands. So until I see more trustworthy, reliable, honest coaches, I'm gonna stand by mine because I know the blueprint, and I'm not gonna let nobody try to take it from them when it's not about basketball.
I agree. I'm pretty sure Moo, you probably just went through this. I'm pretty sure you did. But my event, my UAC event, it kind of we don't get a lot of the support that we thought we was gonna get. To be honest with y'all, just for the simple fact that like you said, people picking sides. I even got into it with a couple of coaches about helping kids get in school, and the kids kind of thanked me on it. Like I didn't ask them to thank me; they just I helped them get in school. Like what was they supposed to do? Like well, they with our program. Okay, I didn't say they was with ours. Like, and that's kind of where the game is kind of going to. It's like a lot of adults that's involved in this is they're using the kids for the benefit of their own egos, and it's like wow, like so the biggest example is the JJ Taylor situation. A lot of people here is just like he's at the end of the day, no matter what he's done, no matter what he said, his attitude, he's still a kid. And we kind of walk off like, oh, we ain't dealing with him. We don't want to deal with him. We don't want to deal with his attitude. Like, no, he needs some direction. That's what he needs. He needs somebody that's really gonna sit down and really help him and really direct him. And that's a lot of these kids are lacking. Like, there's too many adults just trying to be these kids' friends versus their mentors and their leaders. And that's where it's going bad at. Be honest with you, fellas, it's going real bad in that area. So I don't blame you, Mr. Pettigrew. Like I'm kind of like that with my own kids, man. It's okay. You can't go this time. It's okay. We'll figure something else out.
Yeah, I'm very much like that with Xavier. And then also to your point, the experience that I have working in schools, working with these kids, like I mentioned before we went live, is like these kids can see through people not being genuine with them, right? I've had the pleasure of talking to, coaching JJ, and I've never gotten that ego thing from him where he clearly could have been
that way. He just seems to be a kid that he's looking for genuine love from people and everyone that's around him. And I don't know his full story. I don't even know a third of the story. But the optics from the outside looking in is that everyone around him got their hand out, just waiting for his next step of superstardom. But who is really there pouring into him every day, encouraging him, holding him accountable? Like, look what happened to Imani Bates recently. Like, who is holding these kids accountable? Everybody want to be the guy that's in the snapshot, but nobody is holding these kids accountable and letting them know that there's pitfalls in these worlds. Like, it's people in my own family when Xavier was coming up, and I love my family, but no, he can't go over there. Hell no. It was like a set short list of people who was able to babysit my son, right? No, it started there, and it just has continued on through his life. Like, everybody don't get the pleasure of being in my son's space because it's a pleasure.
No, facts.
You know, I'm back to your point. Like, JJ came to he's been to a couple of our practices with Team Moore. You know, his first time he was in there, you know, he kind of, you know, not gonna lie to y'all, he was kind of half-assing on some. I'm JJ Taylor. Like, who are these guys? I pulled him to the side. Hey, you either gonna go hard or you can get off the court, because at the end of the day, if you're not gonna be the example of what they need to do to get to the next level, then you don't need to be out here.
You don't need to be out here because you're giving off bad examples. Yeah.
They're gonna feel like that's acceptable, and it's not. And at that point in time,
no knock to JJ, but you know, with social media plays a big part in a lot of the way these kids think and act and react to certain situations. So you got a person like JJ that comes in and everybody's seeing the highlights and they seeing the this, that, and the third, and then that makes them back down a little bit because they don't want to be put on that. They don't want to be put on that reel. Like Lefty made a good point. Like, yeah, we see all the highlights, but has anybody ever thought the consideration of how the other kids feel, the kids that's being put on the highlight?
And that's a direct result of social media, like you said.
Which is like, it's a hit or miss because this is a competitive sport. So if you're not
no, go ahead, Martell, because you just hit it on the head. Like, it's so hard. It's a fine line because
it's a very thin line because at the end of the day, nobody wants to be on the opposite end of that. But I look at the glass. Everything I do in life, I say the glass is half full. So if you're getting put on that highlight, that means one thing for sure and two things for certain: you were willing to play defense.
Mm-hmm.
So I always look at it like that. If you get crossed up, you get crossed up, bro. Next play. Keep your head down. Keep doing the work. If you get dunked on, that means you was trying to get a block. So a lot of these kids, they see that and they get a little timid because they don't want to be put on that. I know for a fact they don't want to get put in that blender. That's the blender. Man. You don't want to get put in the blender, man.
Man, it's people making it's people
Let's keep it real.
Millions.
Whoever wanted to get put in the blender. But like I'm saying,
making millions of dollars.
Played ball and whatnot. This wasn't. You didn't have 15 cameras in your face, camera phone everywhere. It's a camera everywhere. No matter what you're doing, you could trip up the stairs right now. Somebody gonna see it. So,
but that's
a little fear in the hearts of these other kids that feel. Well, I don't want to say they aren't, but they feel like they aren't up there. But that goes to the confidence in what you pour into these kids because some of these kids really be good. They just be nervous.
Yeah.
And at times you only gonna get that one shot. That shot don't come around twice.
And that's where in this millennium of kids, you have to use that social media platform. Because when they put them cameras in your face, if you're a killer, you gotta eat. You know what I mean? So you can't look at a kid and feel sorry for him. But the way social media portray it, like I said, you can't run from it because the minute you run from it, they're gonna jump and put the camera on somebody else and they're gonna promote that kid and that go your ride. That's what social media has done. It is now they are now the dictators of the who's who and who can go where.
Man, I was talking to.
Because we.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was talking to T Baby, Big T, Terrence Ford, and he was like, "Man, he loved what I'm doing because he liked the way I post. I post my son a lot. I big him up a lot, and that's just really. What I'm trying to do with that is because I'm seeing it from the outside looking in. I'm seeing the game these people playing. Yep. Y'all want to play this social media game? Count me in. Yep. Let me get in with you. Every time my son got a game, I don't even call the cameraman no more. I'm right there with the phone myself. I'm gonna hook it up. I done posted 3 videos from the man from this weekend. He only scored like twice. So I'm gonna play y'all game. We can play this game, man.
Yeah. Yo, that's interesting. Real quick, Martell. That's interesting because I'm being told I'm doing too fucking much.
Man, one thing it is no such thing as doing too much. This is your child, bro. The same way I got love for him off the court is the same love I'm gonna have for him on the court. So I don't care if it's a rebound. I'm gonna slow motion that rebound and make it look like he done grabbed 20 boards that game. You hear me?
But I think that's for me, honestly, that's what just caused me to step away from youth sports. Because just like me as a coach, I'm still going to be an advocate for my child. I've never not once told an individual, don't film your son, don't promote your son. But you can't get upset at me because I'm going to promote mine. I mean, that's crazy. So the minute I see that for the amount of time, effort, and energy I put into a lot of these kids and families, then for you to turn around and say, why are you filming your son? It's time to go. It ain't even about basketball because you don't understand how this works. Mm-hmm. So, Mr. Mustafa, that's when you say you feel like you're doing too much. You can't be because Martell just hit it. You got to level the playing field. Yeah. So if you now ain't on social media, you're not in the mix. Like, because you're going to miss out because all these people see is what they see, not word of mouth or hearing it. They got to see it now.
Yeah, hey, an old Pimp C quote, man. Pimp C said, "Man, you got to put it in these people's face," and that's just really how I'm coming right now. I mean, it's a good thing that he's not weak because I'm pumping the man up every day. We into it with like 3-4 teams right now. Not like, you know what I'm saying? We ain't into it, but you know the rivalries is there. The camaraderie that I have with these other parents and these other teams, and you know what I'm saying? I'm building that up to the point where he can just take it on and it be his household name. I'm trying to make him a household name.
Yeah.
If I don't do anything else, I want these coaches to be like, oh, that's Freebandz right there. Let's see what he about. Even if he ain't about nothing that day. But I want you to know that he is on something. And there's only one way for you to know that. If I don't put it out there, nobody will never know.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Man, my son just came downstairs. He looking at the screen. He like, I know him. He pointed at little D-Hawk. He like, I know him. I watch him on YouTube every day. That little stuff like that, bro, that speaks volumes, man. These kids are in tune with what's going on, man.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
And we done been in the camp with D-Hawk. We was just at the YBM camp with him.
Yeah.
That man he has a game that, man, because it's both ends of the floor. Like that's what I love about his game. He gonna play that defense too.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to take on that challenge. And those be the kids that get that ride.
Yep.
You can't be afraid out here, man. It's too much basketball to be played in front of you at this young age to be afraid of anything for real. You never know what could happen in the next 2, 3, 4 years. And that's just how I'm living. Like my son, he only 7, but by the time he turned 12, I want you to know about him. And my son is one of them kids, I'm not going to never play him down. He's either going to play with his level or he's going to play above his level. Won't be no, he's in the 3rd grade playing with the 1st and 2nd graders. That's over with. I feel like if your kid good, play him up. And we play with the 3rd grade team right now. We done won a few. Well, we 6-0 right now out in Romeoville. We call that Blueville right now, man. That's Blueprintville out there in Romeoville right now. We run it out there. We done beat up on some of they fourth graders. And we just having fun, man. Like, one thing about the rivalries, though, I don't let him get wind of it, because that ain't, you know what I'm saying? I just want you to go out there and do your job. Go out there and play, whether you have a good game or have a bad game. I'm going to support whatever type of game you have. And you got 2 points, 24 points. I'm going to still put it in these people's face. His career high 16, though, so don't act like my shorty don't get busy, man. His career high is 16 right now, man. But I had an opportunity to watch Mustafa. I never really got a chance to tune in with your kid, but I've seen D-Hawk, I've seen Terry, I've seen Trey. I mean, I was actually in attendance for the Simeon versus Kenwood game last year. Okay. Rocking full from standing room only. I got there. I had to get there early to even get in, because that was one of them ones.
Yeah. And
man, it's just a joy to see these kids, to have that personality that they have, and the, you know what I'm saying, the game the match.
Yeah.
It's an honor to be on the Zoom with you guys right now, for real. I'm an up and coming in this basketball world, man. Coach Tate be seeing me out here, man. I try to get them out and watch as much good basketball as I can, because you want your kid to play the right way. I really hone a lot of his playing the right way from watching women's basketball. Women's basketball will teach you how to play the right way, for real.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Them girls be swinging that ball, boy. It ain't too much holding on to it, none of that.
The one thing they do is the ball reversals. They don't let it stick. And it flows.
I love that. So I take them. We done been to a few Sky games over the summer. We ain't good with Miss Foster, so we ain't good with Angie Foster as well. So I just try to get them out here and get a chance to see some of this real good basketball being played in the city. We got some of the toughest players I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes. So I'm just hoping it rolls into that.
Enough about the short. Let's talk about y'all careers. Let's dig a little deep in that bag about y'all playing days.
You can skip me.
No, we want to know. We want to know your playing days, Pop. We want to know if you can put that thing up.
So football was my sport, but I played ball. But I was not nearly as good skill-wise as Xavier is. Definitely couldn't jump. He gets that from Celeste's father, may he rest in peace. But I would have whipped Xavier's ass on the court because I was tough. I played mental games. I was the enforcer. I set hard screens. I rebounded. I knew my role, and I was good at my role. But football was my sport. I didn't have a college career at all. And my high school career, I think, maybe lasted till 11th grade, I think. So that's my Al Bundy story.
Your Polk High story, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's my Polk High story right there. Now football, when y'all ready to talk about football, I was pretty decent in football.
I ain't gonna sit here and tell y'all I was a 30-point a night type of guy or nothing like that, man. But since we are recording this and it's gonna go on I was about 40 a night. I was one of them kids that was just all right. I was just all right. I mean, my career got cut short because I was going to Bogan, and Coach Sean at the time was in cahoots with all the kids from Small Fry, because I wasn't even up on Small Fry for real. So it's like all the kids that was coming in off Small Fry, I had to fight for my spot, and then I just finally gave up on the spot. Like, man, you got a spot. I think my spot went to Wimp. Glover, one of the Glovers, man. Wimp was tough back then too. So, and he was coming in. He was a freshman. And he took my spot as a sophomore, and that just really kind of knelt my little basketball spirit to the cross, man. It was over with after that. I got my spot took by a shorty, so I wasn't really feeling too good about that. But my boy had game, man.
I'll go next then. Well, me, I had the journey of, I had the greatness of sharing the court with this guy, Vontae Hill, man. So we ended up going to the same high school, TF North. But I was more of a scorer. I was pretty much a two-way player. I played both ends of the court. So I always tell Darius, if I was 13 playing against him, he'll get me. I ain't gonna lie. He'll get me. I wasn't that skilled. I ain't had the whole package deal like he got at that age. But played high school, played a little bit of college ball, then brought it back home, started my family, and went on to training and giving back to the youth.
You gonna tell us your NBA story? What your true talent is? Because you really like an NBA player. We just ain't know it yet.
Nah, I ain't gonna say all that, but I'm gonna keep it humble.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Coach Tay just really wanted you to so you could give him his little props, his little 15 minutes in there real quick too.
I ain't even asked him about nothing.
When I first seen Monte, I thought he was like the next LeBron. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Oh my God, man! You just geeked this man up. He posting this on the internet immediately.
And this is gonna forever be a running reel now. You done.
Let's go on all the commercials.
Hey, no, for real though, because I was what, like a sophomore? What you was, a senior or junior or something?
A senior?
Yeah. That man had a LeBron body, grown man body, throwing between his legs, windmill doing all that. Well, yeah, this boy shoot the J. He was like that. He was like that.
So you was getting up like that?
Yeah, I could probably do that dunk your son doing behind you either.
Really?
Yeah, no, I can definitely jump.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh wow, I would have never guessed that, bro.
Yeah, no, I tell kids all the time, if we had the YouTube stuff back then, I'd have probably been all over YouTube. I ain't even gonna hold you. Like I had all the dunks down the lane, anything you wanted to do. Like I just try it for no reason.
For no reason.
Oh. Wow.
Like we played on a little team. One of my auntie friends had a little AAU team, so I was playing with the Illinois Hawks at the time. But she had a little he had a little team called what was it, like Illinois Ballers or something like that, Tommy?
Ballers, yeah.
Yeah. So it was me, Tommy, this guy named Ian Pigney who pretty good. He's like one of the top players in the area. I'm like, man, we just gonna play on the weekends. We don't got games with our other teams. We went out, bro. He took us to Kansas, and we just rocked Kansas. We went to one of the maybe tournaments down there, and we just kind of it was kind of like because Tommy could jump a little bit too while he's in there talking about me. So we lob fast and we just ran the court because we was playing a bunch against the more fundamental kids. We were just ragged, rough, play hard. I'm saying nose to the wall kids, and we just ran the tournament down there. And I kind of got a lot of looks from being down there. But come on, T, because you got to tell us your background, your story.
No, I'm originally from North Carolina. I played basketball and football. Everybody on Tobacco Road wanted to be Michael Jordan. So my whole life I had that basketball in my hand. I ain't started playing football in my junior year in high school. I went on to go and play basketball and football at Penn State. Once I started playing there, I got drafted and played for the San Diego Chargers for a couple of years. Wanted to pursue the NBA, but they said I would have got lost in NBA Development League because I was a point guard, just a scorer, not a shooter. I could put the ball in the hole. So I just chose the football route, which is the irony with all my kids, is after soccer, the second sport I asked them to play was football, and they all had good games. After the game, they folded up the uniforms and handed it back to me, and all of them play basketball. So it was like, now to the hardwood. So I have a 4-year-old right now. I keep him sleeping with a football, trying to see if I can get 1 out of the 5.
And that's tough, man. You say you play for the Chargers. That's tough.
Yeah,
Pro
I
is
came
pro,
in.
man.
Yeah, so it was a great experience. But like I said, I just enjoy watching these kids because all my oldest, once they get to a point where I know they can get me, I'm not playing. So we had that last one-on-one. I get my dub, and you can call that. I'm not playing you no more.
Got to know when to step it down.
Yeah, and yeah, they all got me.
All right, so the next big question is, how do you keep your child motivated through both success and struggles? So what we talking about? How do you keep them in good spirits after they had a good game or a good tournament, or after they had a bad game or a bad tournament? Let's start with you, Mo.
I'm sorry. Repeat the question. Can you say it one more time? How do I what?
How do you keep them motivated or pushing towards after they had a successful weekend or a game or a bad game or weekend?
I guess just kind of keeping everything in perspective. Xavier has had some really good weekends, obviously,
and he's had some not so good weekends. Xavier showed me something about his character his last year with the Wolves last year. Going into throughout the entire spring, he was one of the main guys on that 15U team. Or was it the 16U team? I think the 16U team. He was one of the main guys throughout the spring, throughout the entire spring. Him, Cam, and Asa, and Khalil as well as Troy Cicero. So it was like they had a nice conglomerate of a nice 5 to 6, and he was a part of that main conglomerate. They broke off to go to play summer ball with the high school. Then when we reconvened in July to go down to Atlanta for the live period down there, the UA session down there. In the entire weekend, Xavier played 16 total minutes the entire weekend. And it really burnt me up. And so to kind of bring it full circle back to what your question is, that I was the one that needed the motivation. And he showed me that just by being a positive teammate. Like, he didn't let that get him down. He didn't let that, keep him from cheering on his team. He was, to the point where almost all of the parents reached out to me because they knew I was frustrated. They reached out to me and was like, really kind of thanked me and wanted to thank Xavier for showing that type of character. So a lot of times, like, the question is, how do I motivate him? A lot of times Xavier motivates me by what he does and how he acts on the court. I do know that the times that he has bad games, throughout the game, if you ever came to a game, there are moments throughout the game where Xavier, we make eye contact, or I have a whistle that when I whistle, he knows it's me, and people know. And so, like, I just try to redirect him, just try to keep him focused on the next play. Y'all was talking about the social media era, getting dunked on, getting crossed up, or whatever. Zay has had his share of dunking on people, and he's gotten dunked on, or he's gotten crossed up for certain, or he's given up plays. And so just trying to keep him focused on the next play. Like, sometimes he gets into his own head where he, something bad happens on a play, and now it takes 2 or 3 plays for him to kind of wash that out of his system. So now it's just been working on, kind of like a cornerback in the NFL. The last play was the last play. You can't focus on it. Mr. Pettigrew, he was in the NFL. I'm sure he can kind of speak to that. Like, you can't harbor on things good or bad. You have to keep working towards the next play, the next play, the next play. So I just try to make sure he has the horse blinders on. Just focus on the things that you can control. You can control your attitude. You can control your body language. You can control your effort. You do those things, and everything else usually falls into place.
Anybody else pick it up?
For me, I just have two areas I focus on. if he have highs, great games, great tournament, I'll just channel him and say, is there anything else you can work on to improve? Because you always want him to keep working. If he has his lowest of lows, I'll say, if you close your eyes and you had to redo it again, would you be in that setting? Would you take that shot? If he says, yes, he would, I know we taking the right steps. If he says no, then we got to get back to the lab mentally because he's not ready for that task. I've done that with every single one of them. Just going through it with my oldest, because sometimes when he had his highs, I'd be so up with him. But then when he had his lows, I'd be so aggressive and on him, like you gotta get this out the mud. Like what you gotta get tougher than this. But you gotta be supportive in his lows so he feels a safe haven or somewhere to go to so he can get reassurance that hey, I'm still him. That's why now I don't let him get too high. But when he get in his low, I just say, hey, if you had to do it again, would you go back at that kid? Would you take that shot? Would you play that game? If I get the right feedback, lock in. That's what I do. And that for me, that seems to work with mine.
Tommy.
Well, with me, when he have his low games, I always tell him like it especially offensively, like when he feel like he can't hit his shots or he missing layups or whatnot. I always tell him it's two sides on the court. Always. If you having a bad offensive game, make it up on the defensive side. Go get it stop. Go. Know what I'm saying? Go, force a couple of turnovers and whatnot. But I always preach short term memory. If you have a bad game, okay, that game over with. On to the next game. Especially in AAU, because we can have 2-3 games in a day. So know what I'm saying? Short-term memory. I preach it. If you off this game, you might be on the next game. So it's like it is what it is. Like that's what it is with me. I always when he high, when he having good games, I high five him, woo. But it's on to the next for me.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same though. Like Freebandz, what he likes to do is he get in that mode, but at the same time, he's still a baby. Bro, only 7 years old, so he get in that mode where he feel like nothing is going right, this, that, and the third. So he'll get down on himself, but at the same time, I'm still picking him up. I gotta make sure you understand that, bro, you got a lot of basketball in front of you. You know what I'm saying? You're still learning. You a kid, bro. All them step backs and all that raw stuff you be doing, bro, that doesn't make you growner. You're still a kid. So I feel like by his game translating the way it is, he takes it out on himself because he feel like it's letting me down. But in the same sense, you can never let me down, bro. Whether you drop 50 or don't drop at all. I'm just proud to see you out there getting some run in. I remember you couldn't go through the legs. Now look at you. Like, you know what I'm saying? They don't see the milestones we get to see. So It's like they get rough on themselves. But, man, he done came so far that when he gets down on himself, I just tell him, man, bro, remember you couldn't do this or you couldn't do this? It's just a learning curve, man. Like, I enjoy sitting back and hearing y'all because it's like half of these questions I ask myself sometimes. Like, am I not feeding the right the right stuff into him? Because when you see your kid down, it's like, that's the worst feeling. That's really one of the worst feelings. But just to hear how y'all handle it and to know that I handle it in a similar manner, it lets me know I'm on the right track.
And that's what we need more of because, like I said, Mr. Mustafa has a kid just like me in college. Also, me and Tommy got one in 7th grade, like getting ready to go through. And you got a young gunner coming up, and it need to be more positive feedback stories so people can learn lessons. Life's about a lesson, and this is real knowledge. So a lot of people, if they hear this podcast, if they can pick something small up, I think we doing a real good service, just letting them hear our walk, man. It need to be shared to a lot of people because it can help a lot of people too.
For sure.
No, for sure. All right. Next to last question is what goals do you have set for your sons? We'll start with you, Tcus, because you got like 18 of them. Every time I look up, it's a Pettigrew. Like, what Pettigrew is this?
Mine is honestly, because I never knew my father, is I want them to be great men, regardless of sports, regardless of life, because that's fulfillment I get when I get to walk down that aisle and hand him over to his wife, and like that's gonna be heart fulfilling for me to see them graduate. Like when my oldest walked that podium when he was done with high school, I told myself I wasn't gonna cry. Soon as the music came on, I started crying. I'm like, it's a bunch of them. So those are the moments that I live for. Sports is just a part. It's a part of what we're gonna do as far as a process. But the game of life is so much more. And when you take those steps and stages, you're going to be like, okay, now I get it now. I get it. This is what I wish my dad could do. I don't make excuses because my mom became my father. We just got it in. I just made me work harder to say, you know what, I'm gonna do better. And that's what I'm pretty much trying to motivate and live through my kids, just to make sure they see that we can do better and you're going to become a great man.
Anybody can go next.
Man, he could have checked that. That's all the above. That's answer B right there. All the above.
Hey, you see how, you know what? Anybody can go next. I can't even back that up, so I'm gonna let y'all try to back it up.
That was really that's really the ultimate end goal for real. You want to raise up good, honorable men. Like I pride myself with everything that's going on in the city. I pride myself with being able to go anywhere I want.
Yeah.
Martell, that's so true, right? To the point of, now think about it from my perspective. I get to go anywhere in this city and the city that I'm from because I know that I'm a solid dude. Right, I treat people how I want to be treated. That's how I was raised. We had two family mottos. One is do unto others as you would have them do unto yourself, and then the second was if it's enough for one, it's enough for two. And so, Mr. Pettigrew hit it. He hit it on the head. I just want Xavier and eventually my other son Zayden. I just want them to remember. I said I want them to be prepared for life after me. I want them to be prepared for when the real world is right at their fingertips. Basketball is providing, Tommy spoke on it, basketball can provide opportunity and experience and exposure in the world. But if you ain't ready for that, if we haven't tapped into them, we haven't raised them, and they're not ready for that, we ain't do our jobs. We ain't do our jobs as men. We ain't do our jobs as fathers. And then, as fathers, we also have a responsibility for not just our sons. We have a responsibility I have a responsibility for Tommy's son. I have a responsibility for Mr. Pettigrew's son. I have a responsibility for Martell's son and yours. So we have a responsibility to each other, and it's not enough for that. Like Ms. Pettigrew said, there's too many people with their hands in the pot that don't have the greater good invested in our children. We need to weed those people out, keep the grass cut low, and we need to surround ourselves with like-minded people, like-minded men. That I grew up in Atlanta. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and as a Southern person, he can speak to it. Down south, everybody was responsible. Like when I got in trouble, before my father even came home from work, I got beat twice. And the third one was from my dad. In the neighborhood I grew up in, they were allowed to discipline us. Now, while that's gone, we still got to be held, we still got to hold ourselves up to that standard of redirecting stuff when we see it and say something and redirect them. And not just say something from a standpoint of like, you know, hey, what you doing? And da-da-da-da-da and acting or whatever. But it's like, yo, man, like, explain to them why that's wrong. Explain to them the consequences of that, of the actions that they're about to take. Explain to them how that can be a detriment to them and then the people that they're going to do it to. And then it's a cycle.
Yeah.
And we just gotta hold ourselves accountable. So I'm looking forward to seeing this develop more. I hope this isn't the last time I have conversations with you gentlemen, and I'm looking forward to, you know, building some equity with you individually.
Absolutely.
And,
So everybody's kid on here, I've now just became your biggest fan. So
Absolutely.
I will be following you closely. Tommy, you already know what time it is, but Mr. Williams, it's been a pleasure. Mustafa, like I'm all about acquiring knowledge and being part of good people. Levante, I appreciate you putting this together. It's a great thing. If there's anything I can do for anybody, my arms wide open because it takes a village, and that's real.
Yeah.
And that's most appreciated.
No, I really appreciate you guys for jumping in, man. I've actually had the opportunity. I've clearly recruited all y'all kids, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
Hey, man, look.
But the great thing about that, though, I'd say, is that you recruited all of our kids, and whether you got a chance to coach them or not, it didn't stop you from pouring into them and wanting to help out. Like I have proof of my direct messages from you of like, hey, I sent this to this coach. Hey, I spoke your son up. When we run into each other, it's always like, hey, this coach asked me about a player, and I brought your son up. So I just want to tell you while I got you here, like I really appreciate that whatever I've done to make you want to do that for my child, or whatever he's done to make you want to do that for him, I really appreciate that, and my family appreciates that.
It's all love, man. I got to understand the reason why I started this whole event was that, like, I'm really big on our kids getting that exposure and that proper notoriety that they well deserve. So if don't nobody know, I tell the story all the time. I started this whole United Against Cancer thing. One, because of my battle with cancer, kind of stopped my career. But two, this started off as a men's game. Like it was gonna be like a little what they always do. Oh, we're gonna do what they call a fundraiser game or whatever it's called. A charity game. We're gonna do a charity game. I guess we could put that together. But it ended up happening. What happened was I talked with Steph Hanna after Adam Miller, he got snubbed for the McDonald's All-American game. You know, everybody was talking about it. Like I kind of seen his post on like social media and stuff, and it was kind of like he was hurt. You can see like these people are coming to my city in my backyard and told me no. Like they told me I'm not good enough to be part of what they got going on, but they're here in my city. Like I'm ranked over a lot of these kids. A couple of these kids they picked. They told me no in my city, right? And I felt that. And I felt that like, dang, bro, you right. You know what? It's okay. I got something for you. Because I had a United Center, right? I was going to do it at the United Center that year. It's okay. I got you. I got it, right? I'm put something together. Like I was supposed to do an event, a charity event. I'll make it an all-star game for y'all. That's what we'll do. I won't make it about me. I'll make it for the kids. And the crazy thing about it is Tommy actually has a daughter who's battling cancer. And I reached out to Tommy. That was the first people I reached out to. Hey, bro, I don't want to make this about me. I'm gonna make this about her and her situation. It's never about me, man. It's always about y'all kids, and you know, like y'all said, bro, having somebody that's real with them and supportive with them. Like I said, I talked to JJ on some. I don't know. I'm your fan because no, bro. I'm gonna tell you the real. I'm gonna speak real life into you because if nobody else tell you, you can't. I'm saying I am. You can't say nobody else told you. Right. So I want y'all to be like, I want all y'all kids to be great, whether they play for Team Moore or not. Like I reach out to people and they ask, any players out there? Yeah. It don't have to be for me. I'm saying for my program. Like we in this to, you know, get our youth better and get them on the right path. So, like I said, I appreciate you guys for even, being so involved with your kids' life, because a lot of these kids is lost. They don't have any fathers. They don't have any male role models. They don't have a Tommy, Titcus or a Tell or a Moo. They don't have that. They don't have that positive role model. And you can tell by some of the actions that they're doing. So that's why I continue. I strive my hardest, to connect with the youth in this kind of way, in this kind of capacity. Like I said, I appreciate you guys for coming on. We're gonna play a quick game of this or that real quick. Are y'all ready?
Okay.
Let's do it.
Real quick. MJ or LeBron?
MJ.
MJ. Hands
Ooh,
down.
That was I like that answer. So I'm gonna let y'all know when I post this later and all the LeBron fans come and attack y'all, it ain't my fault. They coming.
First off,
I can tell them why if they want to know why.
I'm a
They
LeBron.
coming.
Hey, Mike is Mike.
MVP, Finals MVP, All-Star MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year.
Done. I tell them that all the time.
That's
I say,
it.
when you offensive and defensive MVP in the same year, come talk to me. There's no other conversation.
Only
'Cause it's
other
never
person
gonna-
that did it in this generation was Giannis, bro. He did it before LeBron, and LeBron was in it like 16 years before him.
Yeah.
Let's be for real. Shorty could hoop, but DPOY. That's what separates Jordan from LeBron right there.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Nike.
I can't
Jordan
do
for
Adidas.
real.
I really can't do the Adidas, bro. AAU or school ball?
Hey,
Oh, Lord.
AAU. I haven't even got to experience school ball yet, so I'm biased. AAU.
Come on, Mo. I ain't get your answer, Mo. Don't be political correct out there now. Don't be the politician now.
Honestly, neither one of those motherfuckers, to be honest with you. I mean, they ain't nothing been produced for my child yet. So, I mean, I can't pick neither one of them. That's like saying, never mind. Neither for me.
Let's see, NBA or college?
College.
Competitive wise, college
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, college.
All right, cool. So I hope to see a lot of you guys at the UAC event this year. It's gonna be
I'm
April
hoping they
8th.
get an invite this year.
I invite you every year.
I'm teasing you, bro.
I know your son better be in the dunk contest. I know that one.
Hey, you tell him to come, he'll be there.
So it's gonna be April 8th through 9th this year. I'm doing it a little bit later. I'm allowing that's because this year we're gonna finally, make it in enough time for the colleges to come out to see the kids actually play. So if a kid is actually recruited to a college, I've actually been contacting colleges, making sure somebody's gonna try to be available for them to just come and support them.
You said April what?
8th through 9th. I'm actually TF. I had it at TF North last year because I was our alma mater. The gym is not going to be available that weekend. They're going to be available the weekend I requested before. It was going to be the weekend before that. But then I
That's
saw
the first week
calendar.
that AAU starts too.
But
I'm just telling you. I just want to let you know, just in case players you try to recruit for your event may not.
So it's all seniors. So it's all seniors anyway.
Got you.
So a lot of them going to be either committed or trying to get committed. We might have a couple of kids that go to prep school. I thought about that too. So we might. I'm in the mix of the 8th grade game or not, but we'll figure all that out once I sit down with my team. We figure that out. Now it's gonna be April 8th through 9th. Right now we're looking at Proviso West, Saint Sabina, Proviso East, and it was I think High Park.
Southside, man. Keep it Southside, bro. Hey, no disrespect to no other to the pro-ams, man, but when they just did that pro-am out at Proviso West, you know how it was in there. I seen you in there a few games. You know how light the crowd was in there because all the real basketball heads is out south. They don't want to take that long drive out west.
Yeah. But we also got to consider we're gonna have a bunch of suburban kids and all that stuff too.
I mean, yeah, but
So
we on
wanna
that
kinda
south
make it
side,
a-
baby.
You see the background picture I got, that was at the Matson Pro-Am where I coached those high school kids, and they gave them pros a run for their money throughout that whole season.
Yes, sir.
They did.
Well, I was at that game when he got that dunk.
Oh, was you?
Yes, I was.
Yeah. And people were talking about, oh, was it body to body, blah 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 blah. I don't give a hell what you said. Zay put that down, and Sauce was a good sport about it. That's what I love. I love that kid for that. He was a real good.
Boy. Sauce.
Listen. Hey, bro. After Sauce got dunked on,
He
went off.
What? I bet he went like 5 for 6 or something like that from
Bro,
3.
he finished with 46 points. I don't know how many he had prior to the dunk, but he finished with 46 points. So he let Zay get his little whatever off, and just at the end of the third, but like a true professional, he turned that shit right on.
Hey, I liked what you did.
busy.
I liked what you did putting them high schoolers in that, man. That was tough. Shout out to Rashad, man. He started that with the young gunners, man. He was the first one putting them shorties out there on that platform to give them an opportunity to, play against them older guys. Because when you get to college, them guys big.
Yeah, they beat on you.
You walking in there with your little 18-year-old frame, and you got to play against them boys that done been down there, eating good, working out, lifting good.
And listen,
So
every
that
game,
was just a good opportunity for the kids to get some run against some bigger bodies.
I would have had Rashad on here, but he said people tired of seeing his face when I do stuff.
every game that we played, we up until like the fourth quarter, we was in the game, and then them grown men called a timeout, and when they came out of that timeout, all they did was grown man us to the end of the game. So,
but that's good. That's good for them boys to get that to happen.
It was a great experience. It was a great experience. It was a real great experience.
We got to give you your flowers too, Tay, man. We
and your
appreciate
night.
you.
This is great, man. I'm gonna make sure when I post this, you guys share it I'm gonna share it to you guys, let you guys know it's posted. Your families, friends, loved ones can come on and watch you gave out. Appreciate you guys. Our next episode is Friday. We will have the organizers of the youth league, the Toy Baylors and Alex Browns. We'll have those people on Fridays. They can give you a rundown on how they run their tournaments and
Alex is a good dude. Alex is a real good dude.
All right, thank you guys. I appreciate you all.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you. Have a good night.
Man, appreciate y'all, man.
All right. Well, you all have a good night. I'm gonna try to reach out. Does everybody have Instagram and Twitter?
My Instagram is Scale Gang Tello, but you might want to follow 26 Freebandz.
Hey, put it in the chat box. Put it in the chat box so I can copy it.
For sure.
So if everybody can put their Twitters and IG, so we can all link up.
Yeah,
everybody on here got both my IG, my Team Moore one and my UAC one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm putting mine in the chat box right now. Hold on, Che. And mine's is the same for both Instagram and Twitter.
Are you coming whole real link? Okay, let me come link.
Oh, my bad. I thought I just tried to make it easier so y'all can just click right.
No, that's the right way. That's definitely the right way.
All right, bet.
I'm really doing this shit the dinosaur way. I could have went straight to the Instagram and copied the.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just with you. I'm right there with you, bro.
I'm really doing it the old school way, typing it in when I could have just copied the profile.
That's all I did. Nah, that's cool.
That's why you let the kids do all the tech stuff.
Man, listen.
All the new age stuff you want to know about, you got to holler, hey, come here. Show me this.
You ain't lying.
That's equivalent to you when you the shorty had to get the remote from across the room.
Yeah, definitely.
It's equivalent to, hey, come here. So how you
Bro,
get the screen and show on the phone and show the other screen at the same time? They're gonna click one button and be like, make you look so stupid.
I just made my 5-year-old the other day. He was like playing on the top of the steps. And I'm like, you know what? Come here. The remote controls was over here on the table. Go grab those remotes for me. And he was like, okay. He was like, cool. I like that enthusiasm, champ.
Yeah, no, kids make you feel stupid with this technology stuff. They'll go in and push a button on you, be like, so this whole time I wasn't even in the right program. It's okay though. I'm just gonna go ahead and take my L.
Okay, see, my boy was already following me. I ain't even follow. Okay. Oh, you just started following me. I thought you was already done. Okay, let me follow Titus too.
We on live, y'all having a whole communion party on the follow. So I'm gonna show it to y'all kids on how y'all was over here like old men trying to follow.
Two old don't know how to do nothing.
Hey, as long as I know how to make them reels, baby, it's up.
Hey,
that's it.
Cause I ain't gonna lie to you. I talk to all y'all kids. I'm showing them all this dinosaur stuff. Let me show you what your dad was out here doing.
I'm the worst out of all y'all. I just put my IG name. Like I ain't even get to cut and paste.
We did. I just did that.
Especially Brady and D Hawk.
Oh yeah.
I think I talked to Brady the most at the Chris Paul camp more than it was probably him, Roosevelt, and Ethan. I probably talked to the whole time. Like, oh my,
Okay.
you know, those was my guys that weekend. Like and little Cam Cleveland, me and him talk for a long minute. He just kind of picking my brain, which is cool. I like kids like that, kids that ask questions and be inquisitive about, you know, just their game and their overall, you know, what you view of them. You know what I'm saying? They want to get your opinion. I like that. It was a kid from Michigan too that was like that the whole time. I don't think he left my side. Like, young fella, don't you got another game to play on another court? But he picked my brain. He ended up making top 20. He was nervous. He didn't think he was gonna do it, but he did it. I don't know why he thought I had something to do with him being picked, but he came over and thank you. I really appreciate you for helping me get picked top 20. All I do is make suggestions, kid. I don't pick no.
All I know is our boy is different. We got a different breed in Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, I say it all the time, man. Them boys be the way they compete against each other, bro. So I know when them out of towners get up here, they ain't holding back.
But that's the thing. You just said it. That the out of towners ain't coming in. We got to do the Tour de France to get our point across.
You ain't lying.
So I'm working on getting them here with this event. I done reached out to a couple of them hitters like, nah, y'all. I'm praying on the prayer that I get this show be the show that everybody want to see. I got a couple of tricks on my sleeve this shit, and I'm hoping that it pan out. Speaking of that, Tickets, I'm gonna say this on live. I really appreciate you. Last year, you know, Trey was supposed to play in the All-Star game. You reached out to me personally to let me know, like, well, I ain't gonna lie to you, his mama ain't going. He got an event that was planned already. We tried to get out of it. We tried to get around it, and she wasn't going. And then he reached out to me as well, like, look, I can't even do it. So I really appreciate that, because I had a bunch of kids just no-showed. And then later on down the line, we spoken earlier, it was the adults behind that situation. Like, you ain't going to that. Don't go to that.
And the thing, it was a charity event. And again, we just trying to get him to be a whole. And for him to have to sacrifice that weekend to go to a charitable event, it was huge strides because he wasn't too happy about it. But again, if you trying to play the game of life, you got to show some appreciation for others kind of in need. And I think he took big steps, but it did suck not being able to attend because it's something that we wanted to do and support. But I got 4 more down the barrel. So, yeah. You
Oh,
That
for
man
sure.
loaded over there, man. Yeah.
He trying to LeVar Ball, ain't he?
they all different. So Trey, like I said, he's 6'4" now with a 42-inch vertical. Then JP is the one that got me, because he grew 4.5 inches in 3 months. He's 6'6" now. And he's starting to come into his own. So they all starting to just shoot straight up. And the killer is the girl. Like Baby Joy, I promise you she's gonna be the best kept secret. Cause she be in the lab right behind them and she watch everything. So when it's time for her to get her platform, she gonna be the one.
Damn, that's dope.
Yeah, that's tough. That man Trey taking off from the free throw and you talking about the baby girl gonna be the one, man. That bloodline sick over there, ain't it?
Right?
Yeah. Tika's got it.
They safe haven is that gym. So they stay in it. And then, sibling rivalries, they always competing. So she the smart one. She play nice, but she strikes.
As she should.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. All right, again, everybody followed each other tonight, fellas. I'm gonna get you
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
here. I appreciate
Thank
you
you.
guys for hopping on. This
right,
better
y'all.
than what's the thing with Noriega?
Oh,
Drink Champs. Yeah.
Drink Champs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is better than Drink Champs, cuz.
Yeah,
All right,
that's a good
y'all.
platform.
Hey, I'm on
Appreciate
it.
it.
I'll
Y'all be smooth.
definitely put it up there with the Drink Champs. You feel me? Y'all done got me on there.
Yeah, this better than the Drink Champs, cuz.
Appreciate
Man,
it.
appreciate all the
y'all.
knowledge you guys bestowed upon me tonight, man. I appreciate it.
Yes,
Y'all
sir.
be smooth. Have a good season too, y'all.
Yes,
For
sir.
sure, you as well.
You too.
Appreciate it.